I'm Nicole Chase and welcome to my channel. I design fun and colorful amigurumi crochet patterns that are great for any skill level. Today I'll be sharing with you some of my amigurumi animal crochet patterns. These are all available for free on my blog. If you don't yet know how to crochet and want to learn, you can sign up for my free amigurumi course, and I'll link that in the description below. All of the patterns that I'm going to show you today are available for free on my blog, but if you would prefer the ad-free PDF version, those are available on my Etsy and Ravelry shops. I'm going to start off my list of amigurumi animals with water animals. So first up I have this mini whale pattern. And this pattern I think is great for market prep. It works up really quickly. You can sell them for a lower dollar amount and make a whole bunch of them to fill your market table. And this is actually one of my super beginner friendly patterns that are part of my Amigurumi for Beginners course. The next pattern I have is Fergus the Frog. And this one is actually completely no-sew. So you first work the legs and arms and then you crochet them in as you're working the body and head, which are done as one piece. So this is Fergus the Frog. He's one of my newest designs. And next up I have Nala the no-sew turtle. This is again a no-sew pattern, and this one actually has two different options for shells. So there's this one with a little flower, and then there's a plain shell option as well. And the shells are completely removable, so you can just slip the legs out and the head. And you can swap out the shell. You can make a bunch of shells for one turtle. I think this is also really good for markets. You can display different turtles and shell options and they can pick and choose which they'd like. And I also have Nala here in Parfait Chunky as well. There's quite the size difference between the two. Next on my list of water animals is Echo the Whale. I'll put a picture right here. I don't actually have a finished one right now, but it is a whale that is a bit bigger than my mini whale, and it actually has a flower crown, so I'll put a picture right here. Next on my list of amigurumi animals are my farm animals. So I'm going to start off with Presley the pig, and he's got this super cute little tail. And I also have a version in Parfait Chunky, which I just love. There's his little tail again. Here's the two side by side. I just love seeing the size comparisons between worsted and any sort of plush yarn. So there's Presley. Next up I have Chandler the chicken. And this crochet pattern, I have actually made several different modification options to turn this chicken into different birds. And I have a chick here made in all yellow, which was perfect for Easter. And I also made one here in a fur yarn. So there are all of my Chandler the chickens. There's so many modification options for this little guy. So that's Chandler. Next on my farm animals is Memphis the moo cow, and this one was actually named after my nephew. And here I have him in Parfait Chunky, and I've also made him in the just chenille yarn, which you can get from like the Dollar Tree. He also looks really good in like a themed option, so I've made a pink cow, like a strawberry cow, and I just think those are so cute. There are tons of options to make themed cows. And that's Memphis. The next pattern I have is Sherman the sheep, and I have two different ones here. This one's in like a fuzzy yarn. I really like it. And in normal worsted as well. That's Sherman the sheep. The next of my farm animals is Haley the horse. And she's got this really cute curly mane and tail. And there she is. And my last farm animal thus far is Lila the llama. And I've also made her in Parfait Chunky as well. And the thing I really like about this pattern is the little hair on top of the head. It's just made with little strands of chains that are looped together. I think it adds a really cute detail. That's Lila the llama. Next on my list of animals are probably my favorite, the mythical and prehistoric animals. So starting off, I have Poppy the unicorn, and this is the full-size Poppy, and she is done here in worsted weight yarn. And this is one of my most popular patterns. And then she also has a mini version. So this is Mini Poppy. And I especially love to make Mini Poppy in Parfait Chunky or Bernat Velvet, any sort of plush yarns. So there they are together. Then I also have this Mini Poppy done in Parfait Chunky Neons, which is one of my favorite projects. I love the bright colors. And look at this size comparison. This is Parfait Chunky and Mini Poppy. And then this is Mini Poppy in worsted weight yarn. So it makes a really big difference changing up the yarn. And I'm just going to show you the comparison between this Mini Poppy in Parfait Chunky, and then this is the original Poppy pattern in worsted weight yarn. So they turn out to be about the same size, which I think is really cool. Next I have to show you is Mini Poppy made in Bernat Velvet. I love the unicorns in velvet. I like to do, like this one is in purples. I've done a blue version and a pink version. I just think that the shine on the Bernat Velvet looks really nice in unicorns. The next on my list are my dinosaurs, and this is my most popular pattern by far. This is Tanner the Triceratops. And all of my dinosaurs have both a bigger version like this, and then they also have a mini version. So this is Mini Tanner the Triceratops. And there you can see them together. And I'm not going to spend too much time going through all of my dinosaur patterns. I have a separate video on that. But here is Tanner and Mini Tanner. And then I have 5 other dinosaurs in addition to these as of this video. Next I'm going to show you all of my Amigurumi animal patterns that don't really have a part of a collection. So starting out, I'm going to show you, this is Elliot the elephant. This is one of my newest designs. And this I also have made in Parfait Chunky, so you can see that size comparison. This is Elliot the elephant. Next I have my very newest design. This is Daniel the dog. And this one is done here in worsted weight yarn. And I do plan to make a smaller version, and I'm going to call him something the puppy. So if you have any names, suggestions, leave me a comment below. That's Daniel the dog. The next animals I'm going to show you I've actually made for Halloween, but they could be for any time as well. This is Baxter the bat, and he's got these cute little dangly legs and wings, and he can wrap them around like this. This is Baxter the bat, and I've done him in Parfait Chunky. And then I also have this one that was made for Halloween. This is Cobweb the cat. And she's got a cute little witch's hat and broom, but if you'd leave those off, she'd just be an ordinary house cat. And this pattern is almost entirely no-sew. So the legs, arms, and tail are crocheted in as you work, and then the only sewing you need to do are for the ears and snout, and then of course for the accessories if you're going to add those. So that's Cobweb the cat. The next one I have to show you is Randall the reindeer, and this is one that I made around Christmas time, but if you take off the scarf, Randall goes from a reindeer to just a normal deer. And he's got this cute little tail. And that's Randall. And the next pattern I have to show you is Lulu the love bug. I made this one around Valentine's Day, but of course a cute little bug could be for any time. And if you did the stripes here in black and yellow, she could easily be a bee as well. And the next pattern that I have is Walter the Wolf. And this pattern I actually also have a fox version. I don't have one on me, but if you just change the gray to an orange color, and you could even switch out the blacks for browns, and this wolf becomes a fox. The next pattern I have to share with you is my Snuggle Bunny, and this one is another completely no-sew pattern. And this one is made in, I believe, Premier Snow Cone, but she looks pretty good in any kind of yarn. I especially like any sort of chenille fluffy yarn for this pattern. So that's the Snuggle Bunny. Next I have my mouse pattern. This one is Mavis Mouse, but the pattern is called Mitzi and Mavis Mouse. And it's just a cute little mouse wearing a hoodie, and the hood can come up and cover his little ears. And there's Mavis Mouse. The next pattern that I have is also a nearly no-sew pattern, Tatum the Tiger. I don't have a finished one to show you, but I'll pop up a picture right here so you can see him. And the last patterns that I have to show you are my teddy bear patterns. I love designing teddy bears. I have done entirely too many, so let me show them to you. This one is Byron Bear. He was probably the first teddy bear that I ever designed. There he is. And the next bear that I have is Charlie the Chunky Bear, and he works up really quickly in any sort of bulky yarn, and he turns out to be about the same size as Byron Bear, and they look very similar, but of course this one is done in a worsted weight yarn and this one is done in a super bulky yarn, so he works up a little faster. Next I have Rainbow Charlie the Chunky Bear, which is the same pattern as I had shown you before, except it includes all of the color changes to make a rainbow version. So that's Rainbow Charlie. And the next one I have is Binky the Bear. This one is a nearly no-sew pattern with the legs, tail, and arms crocheted in as you work, and the body and head are worked as one piece. So the only sewing that you need to do for this one is for the ears and the snout. So that's Binky the Bear. And last and probably my favorite are my sports bears. So this one is Fumble the Football Bear, and obviously his body is a little football. And then I also have my newer one. This is Batter the Baseball Bear, and his body is of course a baseball. And some of my testers actually made a softball version, which is pretty cool. And I do hope to add to this sports collection, definitely thinking basketball because my kids play that, and maybe some other sports bears will be coming out in the future as well. So that's Batter and Fumble. And that concludes my list of amigurumi animals that I've designed so far. I do have a blog post that includes all of these patterns, and I'll continue to add to it as I design more. Most of the patterns that I've shown you today have been made in my favorite acrylic worsted weight yarn, Brava, which is what you'll see here on my shelf. I just love the color selection of Brava, and the price is really good as well. Most of the patterns that you've seen in a chunky or plush yarn have been from Premier Yarns. Parfait Chunky is my favorite. For hooks, my go-to brand is Clover Amour, and I will link all of my supplies in the description below. I hope you've enjoyed this list of free animal crochet patterns. Let me know in the comments below which one was your favorite. Do you have any requests for future patterns? Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see me design in the future. Thanks for watching!